Hi, my name is Alberta. I'm administrative assistant at the Federal Indian Minerals Office in New Mexico.
Speaker is an animated character standing in front of a landscape view with an oil plant in the distance and then changes to the Federal Indian Minerals office building. Title: How does the market affect my royalties? Logo of honor: Alberta, administrative assistant.
I speak Navajo with some of the individual Indian mineral owners to better answer their questions about their mineral royalties. In this series, we're going to answer frequently asked questions.
Animated character standing next to bar diagram titles oil and natural gas market with 4 quarter bars that display last and this year data.
When oil and gas prices fluctuate, we know owners are concerned about what happens to their royalties. In this video, we will cover price volatility, market changes, and how those factors affect your royalty.
Animation of a line graph with months at the bottom, dollar bills falling from the top, and the titles changing prices on the top and market crash under the graph.
What is going on with the prices?
Photo of a Navajo code talker statue in front of large curved red rock formation.
At Honor, we understand that when oil and natural gas prices change, you want some clarity about what is going to happen to your royalties.
Animation of a character with comment bubbles that have an oil pump, blue natural gas flames, and dollar bills next to person scratching head. Then dollar bills have wings around upset character.
The truth is, what happens in the market affects both the price of oil and of natural gas.
Animated character talking with a background that has oil barrels and arrow pointing down and changes to arrow pointing up.
This makes it hard to pinpoint when prices will be high or low
Animated character with magnified glass looking at oil barrel with dollar signs.
due to the many factors that affect prices.
Graphic with lots of words that include energy, crisis, industry, power, etc.
What do you mean factors? Who sets the prices?
One major factor affecting prices is supply. Any change in the supply can drastically affect the price of oil and natural gas.
Graphic of global map with image of oil plant within the land areas. Next graphic has map with pipes connecting the countries and turn cutoff valves on each.
Current supply is the total global output. This is the total production of oil all over the world.
Graphic of globe with oil pumps all around it.
Future supply is the oil that is already in storage or still in the ground identified, but not yet produced.
Photo of an oil refinery with mountains in the background.
When the supply outgrows demand, as it did in the 1980s following the energy crisis of the 1970s, prices fell until supply evened out with demand.
Animation of a hand holding an oil pump with a leveler. The word demand on one side and supply of the other. First the demand is lower, then a line graph is shown, and then it is even.
What is demand? I'm not familiar with that.
Animated character in front of the Navajo Nation headquarters office.
Demand is another major factor affecting prices. Demand reflects people's preferences for a product.
Animated character filling up a gas tank with text, need more in thought bubble. Shows him going into a store and wearing a mask.
It says at different prices, people will demand different quantities of that product.
Oil demand tends to rise in the summer during vacation driving season and in winter when homes need to be heated.
2 animated characters in a car driving wearing masks.
If natural gas prices are too high, then people turn thermostats down to save money, causing natural gas demand to fall.
Animated characters standing in the snow shivering and crying.
Likewise, if consumers choose to not take vacations, demand for oil may fall.
Animated characters working the counter at airport. One says, so quiet first one all day.
However, in either scenario, the quantity demanded can fall if the price goes too high. People often cut back on oil use to save money.
Several photos of women looking at thermostat, getting upset with dollar signs, and then looks cold.
That makes sense. I do that all the time.
Photo of the top of an oil tanker.
Lastly, since both oil and natural gas are global commodities, any regional or global crisis or disaster that impacts supply or demand can cause fluctuations in prices.
Illustration of a map with an arrow pointing down and lots of oil barrels spilling.
Some examples of these crises or disasters are
Animated character in front of signs that say natural disaster.
hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico can cause drilling platforms and refineries to shut down,
An aerial photo of a hurricane and graphics of oil pumps are displayed in Gulf.
reducing the supply of oil and natural gas.
Animation of a hand holding an oil pump with a leveler. The word demand on one side and supply of the other. Demand side of the level is higher.
The COVID-19 pandemic is an example of a disaster where demand shifted down across the globe.
Animated character in front of COVID newspaper clippings. Title displayed, "This is how much driving has declined during COVID-19. Hand holding leveler has demand lower."
Unrest in the Middle East
Photo of tires on fire in middle of highway.
during the Arab Spring in the early 2010s caused rampant fluctuations in price.
Animation of line diagram going up and down.
I think I remember that happening. That makes sense to me.
Prices rose because suppliers couldn't convince buyers that they could properly deliver their oil.
Animation of line diagram going up and down. Animated characters all upset in front of the map and connecting pumps. Then large graphic with lots of words that includes oil crisis, petroleum, production, oil, etc.
And prices fell when buyers were no longer worried about the supply.
Because each scenario is different, it is hard to predict when or how the price of oil and natural gas will return to its previous high.
Animated character in front of a graphic that says global pandemic, COVID-19.
The market must wait until there is a balance between supply and demand that creates more stable prices.
Animated character next to a seesaw with the word supply and demand on each side, which ends up equal.
Unfortunately, because there are so many variables on both a global and a local scale,
Graphic of global map and changes to an illustration of animated characters at a cookout.
there is no way to fully predict when the price of oil or natural gas will go back up, for how long, or by how much.
Photo of an oil pump and tanks with a bag that has a dollar sign on it and animated ones coming from it.
That is the nature of markets.
Title on screen, "How does the market affect my royalties with character at a desk?"
We hope this helps explain the situation and why it's so difficult to estimate when the price will go back up. If you have any further questions or want to talk to someone directly about your specific situation,
Animation of oil pump with dollar signs on it and the text prices and market crash.
please contact us at the phone numbers and or email address listed on the screen or at onrr.gov/Alati assistance.
Honor Indian Outreach. The Denver, Colorado office for leases in Colorado, Montana, North Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. 800-9823226. ONRR Outreach Denver at onrr.gov, the Oklahoma City, Oklahoma office for leases in the state of Oklahoma. 800-354-7015 ohms, NRR Outreach, OKC, at onrr.gov. The Farmington, New Mexico Federal Indian Minerals Office, FIMO, for the Navajo Alatis in the Four Corners region. 800-238-2839. For general information, visit us at www.onrr.gov/alt-OTTEE assistance. Follow us on Facebook.com/DO@ONRR, YouTube.com/ONRR channel.